next we have the other classic Taco and Dale versus Evil.
Wait.
And,
classic?
well, it has gotten quite a lot of critical acclaim. It was quite popular when it came out. Classic might be a bit strong, but it's definitely one of those movies that at least I've seen a lot of love for on the internet. And I know there's, even now, 9 years later, there's still quite a few people who would like to see a sequel to this. So, I mean, even if it's not necessarily your type of movie, it's a lot of people seem to enjoy it. Plot's simple, but at the same time, it's a little more complex. There's a group of college kids who are going to, I'm not sure, someplace down south, sort of like a deliverance type thing. And they run into these two hillbillies. The two hillbillies are pretty decent guys, but through a series of misadventures and misunderstandings, these college kids begin thinking that these hillbillies are a bunch of, two serial killers. So that's where the comedy comes in. These hillbillies are pretty nice guys, and by the way, just realized that some people might consider hillbilly an offensive word, and I certainly don't mean it that way. So, these two individuals are nice guys, and these college kids think they're crazy killers. So that's where the comedy comes from, and that's pretty much what most of the movie is. The college kids they're pretty much interchangeable throughout the movie. I think their names are probably given, but nobody remembers any of them. And a lot of it comes down to whether or not you like Taco and Dale's, the two hillbillies, if you like their characters.
I definitely enjoyed the aspect of how all these people are just accidentally dying around these guys. That's a part of the movie that really works quite well for me.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've seen it like 3 times, and I still find it, no matter how many times I see it, it's still a movie I find deeply enjoyable. Like how ludicrous some of these are. Like the whole war chip is scene. The guy's just trying to help him out, and it looks like he's pushing him in.
Yeah.
Like that always cracks me up.
Yeah, running through the forest with the chainsaw while he's to avoid all the bees or whatever they were, and the scene where they're digging that hole and they think they're making her dig her own grave, and all those things, they're quite clever and humorous, and those are the things that I enjoy about the movie. But the only thing is that only seems to make up like a third of the movie, and then the rest of the movie, it kind of takes another turn. It's got a bit of a twist where something else happens with one of these characters, and it gets a little crazy, and even though crazy's good, it goes away from the thing that I was enjoying onto something else that wasn't as enjoyable as it moved along.
Yeah, I'll say that conclusion probably wasn't anywhere near as good as, like, let's say the first third of the movie, maybe first half of the movie. I mean, it was totally okay, but it felt a lot more, I don't know, generic derivative of, let's say like something like Wrong Turn or something, It just went down a route that I'm pretty sure we all expected past a certain point. I will say I thought the special effects are pretty decent, and I thought I'm a big slasher fan, I'm a big fan of gory movies, and I thought this had a lot of decent bloody scenes in it.
Yeah, no, it definitely has its moments. Overall, I just didn't think it worked as well as it could have. I don't know how you would expand upon the parts that were working well into a full feature length, but I'm sure it was possible.
Yeah, I was going to say, some of the things that you like might be better suited for like a shorter movie.
Overall, not a bad movie, just a movie that kind of fell short for me in terms of being something that I'd like to revisit every now and then. For me, I would give the movie a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, out of interest, if I may ask, you gave a Creepshow a 6 out of 10, also, right?
Yeah.
Which of these two do you find more enjoyable?
I think Creepshow's probably got a little more replayability. It's just got that 80s horror nostalgia feel to it, where you can kind of just enjoy it because of its time period. So for me, I can go back and I can look at some of these effects, and because they're short stories, I think with Creepshow, you don't have to watch the whole thing in one go.
Yeah, I think I'm probably, I don't know, I'm as you can tell from my introduction to Taco and Dale vs. Evil, I'm probably a bit more biased than you might expect. I'm not a big fan of comedy horror movies. I enjoy quite a few, but generally speaking, I sort of like my comedy and my horror not that intermixed. At the same time, I thought Taco and Dale went a very interesting, somewhat intellectual way about it. Despite, despite it being overly ridiculous at times, it was a really silly movie during some of the scenes. I thought the way that there was, miscommunication between the two, and they could never get over, the preppy college kids versus the, lower class hillbillies. I thought it was a very interesting sort of a social commentary almost. And, I like I said, I enjoyed the gory scenes. I enjoyed a lot of the comedy. And this is a movie, like I said, I've seen like 2 or 3 times. And it's one that I would probably give, probably give around an 8 out of 10. It's definitely an above average movie for me. And it's one that I don't think I'd have any problem rewatching down the line.
Yeah, well, yeah, as I said, my ratings are 6. I enjoyed the comedy aspect in terms of accidental deaths and all those silly situations that popped up where they thought these guys were maniacs and they're really just doing innocent things.
Yeah, that reminds me, the whole how the whole thing starts, the whole like scene with the boards. I just thought that was another over the top amusing scene.